Yo, what up, what up, what up? This another reaction video. We got Trap Lil Ross. Y'all seen it. Trap Lil Ross. So we talking about Mr. Beast and his scandals. I knew something was a little, a little fishy with Mr. Beast, man. We gonna see what's up though. We gonna see what's up with it though. We ain't watching this whole thing. I ain't, if people like it, I'll do another one. But I'm just making video. Well, I might well. It don't matter. If y'all like it, I'll do another one. But we just gonna watch the first 30 minutes maybe. So y'all bear with me.
Jimmy Donaldson
Okay, my bad. I'm tripping.
aka Mr. Beast, is the biggest YouTuber on the platform with over 460 million subscribers. He's given away hundreds of millions of dollars, and by all accounts, he's possibly the nicest guy on the planet who's ever lived. And lucky for him, being so nice always seems to benefit Jimmy, because it just so happens that being so selfless is incredibly
My boy done grew a beard out. He still look like Harry Potter. Yeah. That's that British stuff, I guess. But yeah, I ain't trap. I mean, I know people don't, like what he do, but I don't really, me personally, I just don't think that he just be reading what be on the Reddit boards and stuff like that, and what these guys done posted. So I don't think he really, hell, they hurt their own self. I don't think he ever got called to court. But you know what I'm saying? It's crazy though. It's crazy though. I get why people feel a certain way because he look like, he a white boy. But yeah, he don't be talking crazy about nobody though. I ain't heard him. I don't be on his social media though. So y'all gonna have to tell me that. I don't follow everybody. I don't. What the fuck I'm following him for? Anyway, man.
profitable. By giving away hundreds of millions of dollars, he's launched himself to the highest highs of the multi-billion-dollar YouTube advertising ecosystem. And as a result, Mr. Beast's YouTube channel alone is now a multi-billion-dollar company, which he's used to launch products and services generating millions of sales and billions of dollars all across America. Hell, being so nice even landed him something worth more than money, a hot girlfriend. And she even seems nice too. It's not fair. But anyway, you don't get to mog this hard without attracting the evil eye, and as we all know, that cheddar breeds jealousy. Over the last few years, Mr. Beast has been hit with some of the most damning allegations a corporation, I mean a person, could be hit with. Accusations of sexual misconduct and grooming going on under his watch at the company, suggestions that he had subjected victims, I mean contestants at the Squid Games, I mean Beast Games, to treatment that would qualify as torture under the Geneva Convention. In fact, according to some people, Mr. Beast is the fakest content creator on YouTube, and if the haters are to be believed, absolutely nothing about Mr. Beast or his multi-billion-dollar empire is real. His smile is fake, his thumbnails are fake, his stunts are fake, his charity is fake, and even his food is fake. But is all the hate against Mr. Beast just a classic example of hating the player because he's winning the game, or is Mr. Beast's empire really as phony as the smiles on his thumbnails? Well, in this video, we'll be taking a deep dive into the many, many scandals of Mr. Beast and working out once and for all, is Jimmy really a demon behind the thumbnail?
I mean, you know, from what we know, guys with that, he got a lot of money, so that's gonna go to people's head, bro. So he probably crazy. He probably some everything probably true. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Before we go any further, this topic is a little different from the sort of thing I usually cover on my channel, but if you want to see more documentaries about streamers, YouTubers, and influencers, click the link in description and subscribe to my brand new documentary channel, Influencers Exposed. If you want to watch my videos uncut and extended, go to patreon.com/traplawross, where you can go.
I can't wait. I can't wait till I can have this channels. It's gonna happen. Manifestation. Cause he just be making channels. Raking their money. Raking their money. I can't wait. I can't wait. Y'all subscribe.
Got those for just $2. Scandal number 1. Jimmy is a fake nice guy. The whole MrBeast empire is dependent on one thing: you thinking Jimmy is a nice guy. He gives away thousands of dollars in gifts and giveaways, quite literally claimed to cure the blind, and he's even given away entire private jets. He must just be a nice guy, right? Well, in fact, multiple former employees have described a very different environment behind the scenes, calling out MrBeast for actually running a toxic work environment where he apparently berates and belittled his staff and cultivated a working culture where he was worshipped like a cult leader. One person who made such claims was an editor named Matt Turner, who joined the MrBeast team in 2018 during the channel's rapid growth. Despite the prestige of the role, his employment...
He wasn't even there a long time. February 18, September 19, he was like, fuck this shit.
Did after just 5 months in September 2018. Initially, Turner said he was let go because of his other aspirations, as MrBeast was apparently looking for people who were committed to him and the job long term.
It wasn't an easy decision. This was a dream job for so long. He basically just said, hey man, I know this is kind of random. Realize that you aren't long-term in this, because I was planning on either moving to Los Angeles, backpacking across Asia, which I'm gonna do, or go to college in the fall. I just said, we really just want people who are going to be in here for the long term. You have other aspirations, we can see that, and we know that's what you should be focusing on.
And to be fair, Turner also described his time working for MrBeast in largely positive terms, saying that the company had even covered his rent and that in his view, nobody had done anything wrong in the situation.
This was a dream job for so long. Going to work was a blast each and every day. MrBeast paid for my rent every month when I lived in North Carolina. Me and MrBeast, I still consider friends, never got in any fights, no one did anything wrong in this situation.
However, nearly a year later, he would take it to Twitter, where he described the experience working for Jimmy as mentally exhausting and emotionally damaging. According to Turner, the workplace involved frequent yelling, public humiliation, and verbal abuse. As a result, he claimed these incidents caused emotional breakdowns and ongoing distress. Additionally, he alleged that minor editing mistakes would trigger harsh reprimands, despite the content itself not always being strictly authentic. Beyond this, Turner claimed employees were systematically denied credit for their creative work because the management told staff that anyone who left should not be set up for success elsewhere. Moreover, he described ideas being taken without credit and employees being berated by MrBeast's mother, who was functioning as his manager. Further, Turner pointed to strict non-disclosure agreements that were discouraging staff from speaking out publicly. All of this painted a grim picture of Jimmy being someone who's nice for the cameras, but to the people he deals with off-screen, he's a terror. And it wasn't just Matt Turner who felt this way. Notably,
So buddy, so he said one thing, then said something else. So I don't know. Maybe they paid him to say that when he first got fired or whatever, or they let him go. Like, you got other dreams. Then he came out with the truth later. He probably, I don't know, or he should have said that the first time. That's how it be. Like, come on.
the New York Times later interviewed 11 former employees who echoed similar concerns and requested anonymity due to those agreements. But during those interviews, the 11 staff members who worked for MrBeast described a sharp shift in Jimmy's personality once the cameras were off. In response to the allegations made by Turner and others, MrBeast told Rolling Stone that despite working with over 1,000 people, only 2 people had ever complained that he was too demanding and that he was simply maintaining high standards. He also claimed paying Turner $10,000 in a separation agreement and even said he recommended him for future work. For years, it seemed that claims made by Turner and others were largely dismissed until renewed scrutiny emerged in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, up until very recently, MrBeast was like, he was just shielded up. He had like dragon armor. You know what I mean? Like everybody was running defense for him constantly.
After what happened next, Redditors would point back to Matt Turner's video that had started it all, with one Redditor claiming how they had always believed him, but at that point, people were viewing MrBeast like the second coming of Christ, and he simply could do no wrong. Attention would return to MrBeast and his company following some highly explosive allegations made by a controversial former employee turned YouTuber Dogpack404, real name Dawson French. In his first ever video, titled "I Worked for MrBeast, He's a Fraud," Dogpack came out swinging with a plethora plethora of embarrassing accusations, claiming that MrBeast was deliberately manipulating and exploiting his very young audience by constantly tying his brand to the idea that the viewers themselves would financially benefit from following his content and helping his channel grow. And he alleged that MrBeast basically never actually includes random subscribers in his challenges or competition videos like he claims.
Videos are just for entertainment only, right? I mean, it's not like he's ever rigged the results of a challenge. That would be impossible because he films with hundreds of random subscribers, right? Wrong. Let's look at this video. Not only were the results of this video completely scripted, but the contestants are not random subscribers.
So many people had jobs.
Oh, that contestant had to get out for her job? I guess you forgot she's your hiring manager. I actually recognize a lot of people in this video, including Jimmy's own girlfriend. So yeah, the random subscribers you see in challenges are actually never random. They're almost always local to MrBeast and oftentimes friends and family of MrBeast employees. If you subscribe, you will not win $1 million.
And these allegations were just the tip of the iceberg, because in his second expose video, where he went as far as to call MrBeast a sociopath in the video's title, he would interview another former Beast disciple, Jake Weddle, who had worked with the MrBeast channel between 2019 and 2021.
If you know me from MrBeast, I'm a deep cut. I was there when they were authentic, and then I saw the transition to what I feel like is a company. He's like a TV show now. It went from YouTuber guy with a camera to Amazon.
During the interview, Jake claimed that MrBeast's generosity wasn't authentic and all just part of an act.
I think when he's generous on camera, it's the least authentic thing in the world. There's an element of, oh, hey, you're crying, that's so good for camera.
During a segment that would make Jake visibly emotional, he would describe how he was fired after requesting a pay raise for himself and a co-worker, the latter being an older man with kids who felt uncomfortable challenging the company due to having mouths to feed, but still participated in the meeting to support Jake, which would allegedly end up costing him his job as well.
And that's one of the reasons why I left, was because I just walked in there and asked for not necessarily a gajillion dollars, but maybe a salary that was more proportional to the work I was doing, given how much revenue that work was doing. And the other thing I talked about was there was another writer there, older comic, black guy, he had a kid, and I got paid more than him, and I thought that was wild because he was older than me, had a child, we're doing the exact same job, and I'm some 20-year-old white guy, why am I getting paid more than him? I brought that up. And one of the things I did, and he didn't want to rock the boat, he desperately didn't want.
That be the thing, man. Like, don't nobody want to say nothing. They know it be wrong. He can't be the only one to say something. If he the only one to say something, yeah, he just gonna be the only one to get fired. The black dude didn't even want to stand up for himself because he trying to make a living for himself. So I get that, but I don't sometimes. Like, forget that shit. You need to say something sometime, nigga. You up here right now, this good shit, he getting millions of views and you ain't getting no money. That shit crazy. This dude finna cry. But his ass don't want to rock the boat. Come on, man. You gotta stand up for yourself.
I'm rock the boat. He's just, I like my job. I like, because I trust you. He stood with me. He went to that meeting with me. And I said my piece and he backed me up. I said, I need XYZ or I'm out of here. And they said, bet. And they gave me a severance check the next day. And they gave him a severance check the next day. And if I knew he was going to lose his job too, I wouldn't have done it.
It's kind of ironic that the man who's apparently happy buying out whole supermarkets, car dealers,
and the black dude got fired. Man.
dealerships and restaurants can't just stump up a little extra cash for the people who actually make him money. But perhaps the reality is that MrBeast makes disproportionately more money doing giveaways on camera than giving extra money to his employees off camera. But still, in spite of seeing through MrBeast's phony nice guy persona, Jake admitted to staying silent afterwards in the hope that he might get some future opportunities. And eventually he was invited back in 2021 to participate in a grueling 30-day solitary confinement video. It's just chilling when you think about it, because if this is how he does you when you ask for a raise, you can assume that reporting a harassment claim will get you sent straight to the gulag. But during the advanced interrogation, I mean entertaining challenge, Jake would describe unsanitary conditions and sleep deprivation compounded by the crew's refusal to let him turn off the lights, and he had to eventually quit the challenge early because of his declining physical and mental health. Now, let's not forget, sleep deprivation is literally an internationally recognized form of torture, like quite literally a war crime under the Geneva Convention. In reflecting on the war crime, I mean workplace experience, Jake would say that it was ultimately the financial pressures that left him feeling unable to refuse the offer.
But Jimmy's the guy with the money, and if you do what he says, he'll do what you want. You want your student loans paid off? You just be in his cage. And you have power over people. When one person doesn't have resources and the other one does, and they hold it over your head, and you go, of course, yeah, I agreed to it. I needed it, of course.
Shortly after the video was released, Mr. Beast allegedly offered him the remaining $190,000 of prize money that he didn't get. But even being willing to stump up $190,000 is an interesting offer, and it kind of says a lot about how Mr. Beast must have felt about how nasty this incident was. Jake also faced criticism following making these allegations, and during a follow-up interview, Jake would actually acknowledge that his participation in these challenges was not mandatory.
But were those challenges mandatory? The things like the marathon, I think the Rubik's Cube as well, were those mandatory?
I was doing a couple of the challenges leading up to it, and like, again, this is the thing about the video. Technically speaking, on paper, no. But when I tried to not do the Rubik's Cube thing, he was, just do it. Like, just do it for the thing.
But while Jake admitted that some of the pressure to stay was self-imposed,
Hearing so far is a whole bunch of...
But yeah, the pressures that exist.
So yeah, that's fine, but what I hear so far is that these are a whole bunch of internal pressures that you have. I don't think you can hold Mr. Beast responsible
Yeah,
for
but
this.
like, it's not like they fell out of a vacuum. I mean, these pressures exist because this is the company that Jimmy built. Jimmy built this company, and the pressures come from the way that the company operates.
he also generally avoided taking any responsibility for his own decisions.
To say that there's no pressure and to say that all the pressure was manufactured by me, I think is a little ridiculous, but that's just me.
So as a result, public sympathy was divided. In particular, some questioned him being paid
I get it because he getting paid. So a lot of people like, nigga, you still getting paid. Yeah. But yeah, Mr. Beast, it seems like he a jackass though. But that's why people was divided though, because nigga, you still getting paid to go on the show. Like, he gave you $190,000. That was after, you know, you had to leave and come back. I don't know, man.
$10,000 a day and still feeling entitled to the full prize money despite not actually completing the challenge.
I saw you said that you did 10 days or 11 days, correct?
11, I want to say, yeah.
11. And then you also said you feel like you're justified that Mr. Beast owes you the full $300,000, right?
No, I feel like I feel like when I was leaving the challenge, since I was honeypotted in with 300,000, and even though the video went terribly wrong, I felt like it would have been the smarter thing for him to do was to just give me the full 300.
However, me personally, I honestly have a lot of sympathy for Jake. He clearly wanted to partake in the Mr. Beast phenomena, and it's obvious that he does have his own little desire for the limelight. And clearly, he doesn't mind a little public torture and humiliation, judging by his stand-up comedy clips.
They were the only things holding me back from going from full Drake Bell to Cat Williams. So, if I've lost those friends, Biscottios, let's get pimpin'. That's what a Cat Williams says, honey. That's a Cat Williams thing.
But the reality is, Mr. Beast is cultivating an environment where normal people get stars in their eyes and struggle to say no to things they aren't truly comfortable with deep down in their soul. And while there's a lot to be said about Jake being a full-grown adult who can make his own decisions, the fact that this extreme and damaging challenge was even an idea for content for Mr. Beast kind of says a lot about how he sees people. These allegations were shocking to a lot of people who saw Mr. Beast as his nice guy persona would have you think, and they picked up a huge amount of traction, with Dogpack's videos now having over 10 million views each, along with a third reportedly containing false information, causing it to since be unlisted, still racking up millions of views before the mistakes were revealed. There would also be claims that Dogpack was overstating, embellishing, and even purely misleading his audience, with other YouTubers like one named Soggy Cereal putting out a long video arguing that he was going to debunk most of the claims.
As most of you have probably guessed by now, this video won't just be about this alleged fraudulent and manipulative, it'll also be about this confirmed fraudulent and manipulative Dogpack 404. I became suspicious of Dogpack 404.
So I guess he a fan of Mr. Beast. He coming to the defense. Let's see what he got to say.
after he called me overdramatic for not wanting to spread serious accusations with unsubstantiated and easily refutable evidence. As well as because he tried to silence me with threats of slander after I started suspecting him of lying. So in this video, I will be debunking close to every accusation he and the people he manipulated have made.
But when it comes to particularly the claims about Mr. Beast being a fake nice guy, perhaps the most interesting segments were interviews that Soggy Cereal did with Mr. Beast's employees, which made Dogpack himself even seem like not the easiest person to work with.
Can you tell me a bit about your relationship with Dawson during both of you guys working there? Was there something that felt off?
Yeah, so I mean, me and Dawson were cordial. Like, I tried to keep it professional. I think he tried his best to keep it professional.
She drinking a liquid death. Y'all see that? Let me put this shit over here.
But I will say it was a little uncomfortable with just me and him in the office. He seemed pretty disinterested in making genuine connections with people at the company. He gave weird vibes for sure.
Yeah.
And I felt like very uncomfortable working in the office with him. He didn't seem to work too well with others.
Okay.
I heard that he told the chef that his food was trash.
I heard that story too, yeah. And then he like denied it in a video afterwards, and I talked about that, but...
I mean, maybe we could call him and see, like... I heard a rumor circulating that Dawson told you that your food was trash. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was the first time I actually met him. It was kind of after his tour, you know, of our studio and such, and he actually came over, you know, tried some of the food that we had in the fridge, and then proceeded to tell me it tasted like shit, and that he wishes that we were cater more frequently.
Wow.
Because, yeah, which is fairly interesting because I'm not sure if I had introduced myself or maybe he just felt comfortable enough to tell me the food tasted like shit.
Even Mr. Beast took note of Soggy Cereal's video, excitedly commenting, "Finally, a video that doesn't spread baseless slander against me, LOL." Clearly the allegations in Dogpack's original videos struck a nerve with Jimmy, and apparently after this, behind the scenes, Mr. Beast actually started DMing big creators to try and get them to react to the video.
This is Mr. Beast DMing Pyrocynical, telling him that he needs to address the allegations and watch Soggy Cereal's video.
I basically said to him, "I'll probably stream my reaction to it tomorrow. Do I have permission to show this DM conversation of you asking me to check it out on stream?" And then he said, "I'd rather not, but if you feel it necessary, it's up to you. Appreciate you."
So he trying to get people to react to it. I don't know what to say about that, but that's why I say these streaming shit is stupid. How these boys act. These boys,
Covering it. So you can see there. So, hang on.
He's coercing big creators to watch this video to clear his name without him saying anything.
But then Soggy Cereal's video also came under scrutiny when the YouTuber Harmful Opinions revealed that Soggy had failed to disclose that Mr. Beast had paid for his flights and hotels.
I'm sure you know, it has since come out that his flights and accommodation were paid for by Dustin, the producer who reached out to him. Thankfully though, on Friday the 22nd, Soggy added a disclosure of this fact to his video so that audiences will have all the info they need.
Additionally, Harmful Opinions alleged that Soggy had been communicating with Mr. Beast's employees much earlier than he originally admitted.
There is an extremely important fact that he has withheld from his audience and not included in his disclosure. Soggy Cereal has been in contact with at least some of the very same employees he interviewed in real life since at least before October 12th, when he released his slop content video. And they had already shared with him many of the claims he recorded from them during his real life interview. It's a redo with names attached, not an investigation. Some, given how it's been presented, as flying out to dig up the truth so they can't trick him with a script, would even call it fake.
And finally, Soggy himself admitted that he had a personal issue with Dogpack based on how Dogpack reacted to one of his past videos.
In messages with me, Soggy admitted that Dogpack's response to his slop content vid was a major motivation in how he put together this.
And there you have it.
truth about Dogpack video, confirming to me that, yeah, the reason he went so hard on Dogpack was because of how the slop video went down and how he attacked Soggy after he made it.
Moreover, current MrBeast employees like the ones interviewed by Soggy have obviously all the incentive to badmouth Dogpack and protect their main man MrBeast. However, this does arguably highlight the problem with most of the claims about MrBeast being a terrible and immoral person behind the scenes, which is that much of the allegations appear to simply be their word against his. Without a bulletproof evidence like a video of MrBeast raging out to his employees or openly admitting to faking his videos, it becomes practically impossible to know what's the actual truth with just this evidence. Of course, MrBeast would hardly be the first celebrity to act entitled, rude, or purely evil behind the scenes, and there's undoubtedly some very legit criticisms of MrBeast's character, some of which we'll discuss later in this video. But on the other hand, it's also not exactly a shocker that a few of the hundreds of people who have worked for the most popular YouTuber ever would feel like they were mistreated. With a
I don't get James Corden acting like whatever his name is. I don't get certain people. I just don't understand. Like even Diddy, like these niggas would let Diddy run around like he was a gangster. I would have whooped Diddy's ass, bro. Diddy would have had to get his ass whooped, bro. I don't understand that. I didn't understand that at all. Nigga, I ain't walking nowhere for a fucking cheesecake, nigga. Man, slap the shit out of nigga. Look at him. Look at MrBeast, man. I slap the shit out of that nigga. He talking to me crazy any day of the week. I don't understand.
business that big and stressful, it's probably inevitable that some people are going to leave with a negative experience. And yet, given we're talking about the most popular YouTuber in history and one of the most famous people on the planet, if there truly were undeniable smoking guns proving that Jimmy was a genuinely despicable person, you would expect more concrete evidence to have already exploded into a major media scandal. Or perhaps this just speaks to the abilities of the public relations experts that MrBeast was hiring at the height of these scandals. To me, if I had to rate Jimmy, I'd probably put him at a 40% on the nice-ometer. He does seem like deep down he cares about people and probably didn't mean to torture Jake Weddle, but being a bit of a careless to people he doesn't know that well is one thing, but as we'll discuss next, the darkest scandal MrBeast has been embroiled in is the one where he appeared to put his morals to the side to try and protect one of his day one friends. As this next scandal wasn't brought about by Jimmy himself, but by one of his closest friends and longest serving employees that would inevitably shine a light on some very ugly things going on behind the scenes of his company, and in doing so, for a moment, bringing Jimmy arguably closer than ever before to truly destroying the MrBeast brand once and for all. The second scandal is that MrBeast actually knew that he had employees being creeps at his company, and he tried to defend and protect them. The MrBeast brand was bigger than just Jimmy himself, and close to him during the early growth of the brand was his tight inner circle that dated back long before the
we already can tell. We already, I can tell. I can tell. This motherfucker right here. He look like he done did some shit too. Him at the bottom too. All these niggas look like they, all look like PDF files. All of them.
viral fame, and penetrating the darkest pockets of that circle was Ava Chris Tyson, a childhood friend of Jimmy's from North Carolina who appeared in some of the channel's earliest videos, and eventually coming out as transgender in a controversial period of time that many people saw as putting strain on the MrBeast empire. A Sunny V2 video on the topic covered in great detail how Tyson's gender identity represented an existential crisis for MrBeast and the future of his channel.
Also receive an equal amount of backlash. You ripped apart your family and took a father figure away from your son just so you could paint your nails and act zesty. Pathetic. He will get torn apart at school, won't want to have friends around his house. A life full of difference and being alone. Did once again reiterate his certainty in a new post reading, "It's never too late to start being yourself," which received praise from MrBeast as well as Nolan and Carl. However, these comments also added extra fuel to the fire. In a few years, look back at this thread and remember they were never your friends. Only yes men cowards. Hope you come out of this safe. safe. MrBeast responded to this with a simple opinion irrelevant ratio, to which the original commenter would state, "I have 30 followers, so go ahead and ratio me. I'll still rest easy knowing that I'm not a coward who idly sits by watching my friend ruin his own life."
Ultimately, over the years, Jimmy remained publicly loyal as Tyson navigated these personal changes in full view of the internet. Born a biological male named Chris with a C, Tyson, after spending several years as a prominent on-screen talent in the formative early years of the MrBeast channel, Tyson became a recognizable face in the cast, building up a sizable following amongst MrBeast's young and impressionable fanbase. And as time went on, Tyson would let the world know about her struggles with her sexuality and gender identity behind the scenes, later revealing in 2020 that she had come out as bisexual, later explaining that she feared backlash from the people closest to her. In March 2022, she showcased that she had got her nails done on her Twitter account, representing one of the first times that she had presented publicly with feminine traits. But this was only the beginning, and just over a year later, in April 2023, Tyson would seize the spotlight as she announced online that she'd begun hormone replacement therapy and publicly reintroduced herself as Ava Chris Tyson. In response, Jimmy would openly defend her against waves of online harassment and transphobia. However, almost a year later, Jimmy's support would waver in the face of some truly disturbing allegations.
I heard about this one. I didn't know it was that going on. All of them ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? It's always it's PDL files, straight men, straight people. You know what I'm saying? Gay people. There's a lot of people just sick, man. That's all. He probably wasn't expecting that coming from him, because that hit boy. And he probably ain't want to drop him because he came out of, he wanted to be, a girl, so. But grooming, though, that ain't good, though. That's not a good look for you. I heard about this. Shit crazy.
Against Tyson, separate from the conversation about her transitioning genders. In July 2024, multiple expose videos would surface accusing both MrBeast and Tyson of fostering a disturbing internal culture within the company. But this time, it wasn't about Jimmy being an or workplace bullying. This was even worse. Specifically, these were accusations centered on Tyson's concerning past behavior involving, as well as her long documented admiration with an artist called Shadman, who's widely known for creating explicit and even illegal drawings involving and was reportedly even expelled from art school for creating that kind of content. Archived posts would resurface showing that Tyson had publicly referenced consuming and enjoying similar artwork as the kind created by Shadman already back in 2016. This was already a terrible look for MrBeast, given the long and close relationship between Jimmy and Tyson, and this time it would be even harder for Jimmy to distance himself, as people like the YouTuber Adrox would also link Tyson to commissioning custom Shadman illustrations that MrBeast was allegedly aware of.
Is another drawing by Shadman. It depicts a young girl wearing a "Please be patient, I have autism" cap, pointing a gun at her mouth. She has a fidget spinner as an earring and a spade tattoo on her thigh that says BBC, which we all know what it means. On November 18th, 2017, Ava responded to a tweet from Grande and MrBeast stating, "This is coming from a guy who owns a Shad-based drawing and has it as a centerpiece in his living room." Just some time later, they also posted the exact same drawing laid on the floor with the caption, "Bonus fidget spinners to throw some extra autism." In this MrBeast video, you'll notice a very familiar thing at the 9 minutes and 30-second timestamp. From what I believe, keeping illegal art in the bedroom isn't normal at all. The shocking thing is that MrBeast and Chris were roommates during that time.
By 2019, Tyson was publicly promoting Shadman's website and allegedly making
I don't know where the fuck I be at, but I ain't even know nothing about this shit here. About people, like, they be doing drawings of, man, that junk crazy. They doing drawings of kids. But if he had one up in the room, bro, come on, bro. He with that shit. He with it.
personal requests for new artwork. The former MrBeast editor mentioned previously, Matt Turner, added a crucial inside perspective, claiming that during his time as an employee, this inappropriate culture extended directly into the workplace. Specifically, he alleged that both MrBeast, Tyson, and others made crude jokes about a manager's 5-year-old son.
Everyone was consistently making these jokes wildly inappropriate about his 5-year-old kid.
Ew.
And so,
Whoa.
I know.
Like what?
And so, gonna go home and insert name. Like
What?
the craziest thing.
Who was saying that?
I know. Well, Ava, Jimmy, it was like the thing. It was like funny edgelord.
When that manager reportedly reacted with anger, Turner claimed that he was fired.
We were filming the video playing Fortnite in the middle of the ocean, and one too many jokes got said, and bro flipped. Like, understandably, he couldn't take it anymore, and he took a cameraman and he threw him into the water, and it was a whole big problem. And so then the next day, he was fired.
More disturbingly, Turner alleged that the manager was replaced by someone nicknamed Delaware, an allegedly convicted S offender who had apparently assaulted an 11-year-old in 2010. In Dogpack 404's second expose video, Jake Weddle would claim that pretty much everyone inside the company was aware of the charges, and
he was with it, like I said. That he knew what the hell was going on, bro. The picture said, bro, what you got that on your wall for?
that the nickname Delaware was in fact based on the fact that this was the state where he had caught those charges.
He's like, why do you call him Delaware? I didn't know. Apparently they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname? Colloquially? Like, you know, yeah, it's Delaware. Don't ask him why, you know? The f***. And Jimmy knew about it? The likelihood that he didn't know is astronomically low.
However, as Soggy Cereal would point out in his debunking video, there's also a much more innocent explanation as to where the nickname came from.
Anonymous MrBeast employee Dustin Harris, who has been working at MrBeast for about 6 years, well, he explained that Delaware was once a store manager at Jimmy's local Best Buy. Jimmy realized he needed employees to improve his content, so as a dumb impulsive 19-year-old randomly thrown into fame, he went to his local Best Buy and asked its employees if they wanted to work for him, naively thinking that a multi-billion-dollar company would have at least made sure to not hire criminals and especially to not hire a registered sex offender as store manager. 19-year-old MrBeast didn't do background checks. Was that stupid? Yes. Is Delaware a piece of shit? Yes. Should Jimmy take responsibility for making that mistake? Yes. But it wasn't this f***ed up master plan by Jimmy to intentionally hire an RSO. It was a dumb mistake by an inexperienced adolescent starting up a business.
During the height of the
Nah, I could believe that. If he met this nigga, he just went in the Best Buy and just hired a nigga. You ain't know who you hired. I get that part, you know what I'm saying, with like, nigga, I don't know, man. That shit don't look good.
controversies in 2024, Delaware's brother-in-law and former employee at MrBeast, Jake the Viking, had alleged that Delaware had sat down with MrBeast and his mother, who was reportedly overseeing the HR at the company, and explained his past to them, which was allegedly accepted and acknowledged by Jimmy and his mother, an allegation that Jimmy would later flat out deny.
Obviously, when I was a teenager, I didn't know what a background check was, and I just hired a couple people there that wanted to help me make videos. One of them was the person named Delaware, and no, I did not know he was a registered sex offender. There's a rumor that's gone around that said that he sat me and my mom down and told us. Obviously, I don't remember that happening. And when I...
But they said they were running around the place calling him Delaware because he can't go back to Delaware. I would have found out why he can't go to Delaware, and we would have had to cut ties. He didn't even ask. But they saying he knew though. Like, oh man, ain't looking good for you, MrBeast. Jimmy.
read that tweet, the first thing I did was I called my mom and I was like, hey, this is like 7 or 8 years ago. Just put this in context. 7 or 8 years ago, not indicative of my company today, but I was like, did this happen? Because someone's claiming this happened. My mom said, I would have literally quit or honestly probably shut the business down before I ever let my teenage son hire a registered sex offender knowingly.
As scrutiny intensified, public attention shifted towards a longtime fan of MrBeast known as Lava, who was a supporter from when the channel had only...
I'm saying when I would have found out that. I think that's what happened. He cut ties, but it's still a little bad though.
only 50,000 subscribers. Over time, Lava developed direct communications with both MrBeast.
I ain't calling him MrBeast no more. His name Jimmy.
Beast and Ava Chris Tyson, and according to reports, Lava was just 13 years old when Tyson first contacted him, and subsequently Lava was allowed to create the official MrBeast Discord server. While Lava claimed that Tyson was unaware of his age until 2018, messages revealed ongoing communication across Discord, Snapchat, and Twitter between 2018 and 2019 when Lava was just 14 to 15 years old. In these messages, Lava would call Tyson Big Boy, Dad, and at one point asked Tyson to be his Valentine. Eventually, in May 2020, Tyson helped Lava secure a job as a production assistant on the MrBeast Gaming side channel. While Lava met with Tyson at the MrBeast compound on various occasions, he maintained that his parents had accompanied him during these visits. When screenshots of their messages surfaced, Lava initially denied any wrongdoing on Tyson's part, but nevertheless, the revelations triggered widespread backlash online. In a series of posts, Tyson apologized for her past behavior, but denied all grooming allegations, categorizing her actions as just bad, edgy jokes. Simultaneously, MrBeast released a statement confirming Tyson's removal from the company and announced an independent third-party investigation into the issue. Soon after, Discord users released additional screenshots contradicting earlier denials.
And I'm going to provide a lot of
And the crumble. Yeah, he seen what was going on. Y'all seen this shit? Look at this shit. He knew what was going on.
As just bad, edgy jokes. Simultaneously,
He didn't. See, yeah, he had to cut ties with that nigga. You knew that shit was going on, bro. At what point do you be like, all right, I don't know what point. I guess when you're in it, you're in it. Shit, I used to be in the streets, so I understand. Sometimes you just be in shit. But goddamn, I don't understand. Like, come on, bro.
MrBeast released a statement confirming Tyson's removal from the company and announced an independent third-party investigation into the issue. Soon after, Discord users released additional screenshots contradicting earlier denials.
And I'm going to provide a lot of the screenshots backing up the claims that I made that Lava refuted. For example, I made a claim that there was an NSFW channel in the server where Chris would spam corn. Here you can see Chris talking about locking down the NSFW channel to True Gods and Anointed only. By the way, this is in 2019. I was a True God and I was a minor. Not only that, but you can see me right below it, Nathan.rtx, saying this is a bad idea. So even I knew as a kid that this was a really bad idea. Here is Lava himself talking about starting the commencement of cleaning the server, word for word. I said he was talking about scrubbing the server. He says that never happened. Here you can see him talking about it, as well as me and Cookie himself talking about it.
Following that, more than 500,000 Discord messages were leaked publicly, and as a result, Lava partially walked back his previous statements, but continued to deny that he was a grooming victim. When asked directly how much Jimmy knew, a former employee alleged that Jimmy was aware of some highly inappropriate material circulating internally, but not aware of the grooming allegations.
Maybe he laughed about it, but didn't know how serious it was. Like, what's your take on Jimmy's?
Well, I to be fair, and even in my original video, I've said, like, I've tried to be as fair as possible. I don't think Jimmy had any idea about the meeting up with people. I just don't know. I feel like that was like Ava's dirty secret at the time, but they definitely knew about the Lolly. That was like so funny to them. They're like, yeah, look at the Lolly Discord. Did you check the Lolly Discord?
Oh,
it's like, bro,
Before the end of 2024, MrBeast announced the verdict of the third-party investigation, which conveniently concluded that the grooming allegations were unsubstantiated after reviewing millions of documents and interviewing numerous employees. However, the investigation did confirm isolated incidences of workplace harassment and misconduct. As a result, the company implemented new internal safety policies.
What you expect when people do their own internal investigation, bro? Like, I never understood those. Like, get somebody else to investigate your ass. If I'm gonna tell on myself for real.
policies and reporting systems. Arguably, this is proof that MrBeast took these allegations seriously, but on the other hand, the approach seemed very inauthentic and reeked of a corporate crisis management strategy that conveniently addressed the allegations but gave the impression that Jimmy himself had been cleared of any wrongdoing. In the end, Ava Chris Tyson's inappropriate behavior overshadowed her gender transition, and for a lot of people that might have disliked her as a result of transphobia, now had more legitimate reasons to turn against the formerly liked co-host. Having brought such a stain onto the MrBeast brand, it was only natural that at this point she stepped away, announcing her departure with an emotional apology on Twitter where she said sorry for her past behavior and comments and vowed to step away from the MrBeast brand to focus on her mental health. As mentioned, this is likely the worst and most serious scandal that MrBeast has ever been involved in. Some of the claims about the culture inside the company, especially during the early years, are so serious.
That's 30 minutes, man. I fucking can't. This motherfucker know what's going on, bro. Like, I'm finna watching it, but let me know if y'all want me to do part 2 or whatever the fuck. They be long. I like watching long shit, so I'm gonna watch it. But I just ain't finna record myself watching this shit. Bye.